has Harry's wife, the former Duchess of Sussex as she sometimes likes to be known, now ghosted someone else. Hi, good morning, Neil Sean here in the heart of London. That is the story breaking out of London today. Now let me explain. As we now know, it does appear that on occasion Meghan Markle may have been seen to, well, shall we say, disconnect from former friends. And this is where it gets interesting for me, because as we've now seen, she's disconnected from her own father. She seems to have disconnected from the British royal family, particularly after those explosive interviews with Oprah Winfrey. And more importantly, so has Harry. But we've also had friends who've been friends. We've had friends who didn't know her that well, like George Clooney. Even Oprah Winfrey didn't know her that well at the royal wedding. But what's become really interesting is this particular story. Her Majesty the Queen was the patron of the National Theatre for 45 years, and when Meghan joined the British royal family, she thought this would be an ideal attachment for her, naturally being a former actress and some, limited stage experience. As I say, Her Majesty was the patron for 45 years. Meghan lasted around about 18 months. There was one very public visit and an alleged private visit. But other than that, nothing else. Now here's where it gets interesting for me, simply because, of course, we then found out earlier this year that Meghan had to step down as the patron of the National Theatre. And I reported at the time that I thought it was rather strange that she did not connect with the theatre group when they were going online during this terrible pandemic and trying to keep theatre alive, as we now all know. But what's become rather interesting is, and I have to say allegedly, that the National Theatre just down the road here from Lambeth Palace apparently reached out to the former royal, basically because they're reopening, as I say, after this terrible pandemic. They thought it'd be a good idea if they could have a video, just to play out possibly at the start of performances, maybe screen it in the foyer of the theatre. But apparently, despite their best efforts, it appears that the Duchess has been rather too busy to get involved in that. And as I say, it does seem rather strange because consequently during that period when they were looking for some support, she didn't seem to be around for that either. Now, you could say obviously she's expecting her second child, a daughter. She's very busy. But it does also counteract the fact that when she wanted to appear on that Vax report or indeed pop up on Harry's recent Apple series alongside Oprah Winfrey, she found time for that. Naturally, they're playing stum down the road, saying it's not really that important and they're looking for a brand new patron, which could be His Royal Highness Prince Edward, a rather fitting tribute, I think, because we know that Edward loves theatre. But for now, at least on that stage down the road at the National Theatre, it does appear that Meghan has closed the curtains for good. Neil Sean in the heart of London.